我叫婉玲，然后我现在是一个研究助理。那之前从大学到研究所都是住宿舍，然后现在出来工作快要1年，在外面租房子。那平常会有室友，或者是说一起住同一个楼层的邻居这样子。
我是嘉禾，我是一个杂志编辑，我住在离我的办公室不远的地方，就是我们家买了一个大概30多年的老公寓。
我是秀娟，我是银山，我是莹莹。
我叫孟德，我是法国人，然后我住台北2年了，我教法文，我住师大那边，到永康街。
I'm Tom Malloy, Canadian, in Taiwan for 7 years, teaching English mostly.
My name's Paul. I'm a visitor to Taiwan from Australia. I'm here for the summer. I've lived in Taiwan before, so I guess all up, I've spent about 2 years here. I've lived in 4 different places. First was at a student dormitory in Tainan. The second was in a small apartment on Heping Dongwu in downtown Taipei. I lived there with my wife. And the third place was an apartment on the outskirts of Taipei. I lived there with my wife for over a year. And the fourth place where I'm currently staying is in a share house on the roof of an apartment in a fairly posh area.
My name is Rose. I grew up in the Philippines. I live in the Dan district.
My name is Julia, and I live in Keelung for 16 years.
There are some people in one apartment above us. They're models. They throw their trash in people's bicycle baskets, especially mine. I always see like Diet Coke or chips or sandwich wrappers in my bicycle basket. I confronted them, and at first, like one guy, he was really defensive. He was saying, "How do you know it's us?" And I said, "Well, somebody saw you."
Across my street, there's it's like a bar, and they throw parties probably every week, and the music is very loud. My mom wants to call the cops on the bar next to our street, but she's afraid that they might somehow know and we might be in trouble.
有一次是真的，我受不了我以前大学的同学，他的鞋子太臭。然后那时候室友真的很生气，跟他说：“你可不可以去洗一下鞋子，然后洗一下脚？”后来我就会一直小心避免这种事情发生。就是如果真的受不了，就是如果我可以先帮他做，我都会先去做。我后来都会用这种方式去处理，就是跟别人住在一起的时候，如果有谁让我受不了，我要如何去应对，我都会这样，就是自己先去帮他解决问题。
我家的隔壁的楼下有一个，就是台湾很传统的那种男人晚上会去唱卡拉 OK， 然后可能有几个年轻的小姐会陪你喝酒的地方。那其实他们不太吵，可是有的时候因为老公寓隔音很差，我有时候晚上在家里睡觉的时候，可能12点以后会听到楼下的声音，是唱歌的声音，但是也不是太大。那我不晓得，我从来没有抱怨过，也没有跟他们直接反映过。
派对的时候，我的邻居可以来抱怨。我上次的派对，我的邻居11点来抱怨了，然后跟我说，那现在11点，你们从9月份要排队3次了，我觉得你们太吵什么。我要跟他说不好意思，然后再不要介绍我的道歉。他说了没有不好意思，我不要接受你们的道歉。
I lived in a storied apartment in the north end of town that was frequently visited by the police because of noise. In fact, because it wasn't the people in the same building that I lived in, it was because buildings are so close together here. That was a neighboring building, so who's going to walk all the way down the stairs, go out the door, go in another building all the way upstairs, just knock on your door and say turn it down?
我之前住的地方就是旁边是工地，然后他们在盖房子，然后他们的工作的时间很夸张，就是有过那种早上5点多就开始施工，要不就是到晚上12点多1点还在施工。然后那时候就是 邻居的抗议是直接从他们家就对那个工地吼，就是叫他们不要再工作了，可是都没有用。然后后来就是打电话报警，然后警察来，感觉也是跟他们聊天聊一聊就走了，就是没有什么用。感觉他们已经有先跟那些政府单位协调过了，可能有送红包之类的，所以就也有人说没有用，然后就一直必须忍受到那个房子盖完。
我是住那种老旧公寓的，然后邻居还有一些很奇怪的现象是，他会偷倒，我不晓得是水还是什么东西，会从阳台这样倒下来。它也不是浇花哦，我不晓得那是什么东西啊。但是也是有跟邻居反映过，他就只是说，并不会影响到什么，所以他觉得无所谓。因为我们就是尽量息事宁人，不要说破坏邻居间的关系啊。所以都是通常我们的做法都是反映过一次之后，他如果没有什么改善，我们可能也不会就继续讲。
我都在外面租房子。那我们旁边有一个是。我不知道他是做什么工作，可是他有一次晚上大概已经2、3点了，他可能喝醉了，然后他没有办法进他自家，他也可能没有钥匙，他就一直在那踹门，踹得很大声，然后因为我在他旁边，就是隔壁房子，所以我听得很清楚。那我有一个女生在家，然后我们家狗也就是躲在一旁睡觉，它也没有关，所以就后来我是打电话给那个警卫。因为24小时，然后请他上来帮忙看，这样子才知道说那人喝醉酒，然后帮他处理。我不会直接去找他说啦，因为他应该是男生啦，因为他那天喝醉酒踹门，就是力道应该蛮够的。对，因为第2天出门的时候就看到门已经整个就开了，所以他力道很够。那我何必要去找他呢？
味道会，可是我觉得有点复杂是。有的时候你不太容易判断味道到底从哪里来的。对，我觉得还是相对，因为我白天都在外面工作，晚上回到家可能会觉得是不是后面的邻居在煮什么东西，或者是有什么东西，但是不太会，通常都不太有力气，工作一整天都不太有力气再花时间去注意这件事。只要它没有持续，如果说连续1个星期、1个月都一直有那个味道存在。我可能就会真的想要去做什么，可是如果只是某个晚上，我可能通常都还是会解释成是，可能今天做菜烧焦了，或是今天他们家什么东西故障了。就我觉得那个还在容忍，就是因为每个人都生活这么靠近，虽然你不认识他，你可能从来没有见过他，可是你还是会先预设，如果只是一场意外的话，其实这是在可以容忍的范围。
I think talking to them in person is better.
Okay.
Yeah, because then you know you know the reaction, because if you just write a note, I mean you don't even know if they're gonna read it. They might just throw it away. If you call the police, it's just gonna start a war between you guys, And next time we do something, they're just gonna call the police, or, I don't want that to happen.
And here it's bicycles, motorcycles, scooters, cars, blue trucks, taxis, buses. And back home it's just strictly cars just idling away quietly. Everyone listening to the radio or the music. It's pretty funny. They're drones. People are more alive here. So.
对，算是 passive aggressive， 算是，就是我不满，可是我其实是用一种被动脑迂回，让别人不会直接感受到敌意，就是有点像是去说服他，要去跟他沟通的做法这样子。
Also, the other aspect I find maybe more challenging in terms of living together in a really crowded place like Taipei is there's often no footpaths around, so you have to walk on the street, and scooters will come zooming past you, or taxis will come quite close, or cars will come quite close, often within a foot, and often at a speed that might not be considered safe. So in that situation, for me, it's when my life moves from inside the house to out on the street that I perhaps find living together with the city of Taipei to be a bit more challenging.